Hello.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm Misty. This is Curtis. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Yeah. He
That's
could
me.
introduce himself. Yeah, I had the great idea to actually do like a video blog, and we're not sure how it's gonna go because I didn't plan a script. Anyway,
No.
yeah. So
I asked her if she did, but she didn't.
no. Anyway, so we're here at our parents' house. I came up for the weekend, and he lives in Fort Worth, and it's a nice weekend out here in March. Anyway, and he was out all day in the garden, so I don't know. Tell us what you did.
Well, today I did some mending on the south side of the house and planted some wheat, and planted some more buckwheat in the backyard for my wife, since she eats gluten free. So I try to do some stuff for her as well. And I have a PVC planter. I've showed it on the website before. I was growing strawberries in, but they didn't do so well on them, so I repotted them and put them in some hanging baskets.
Oh, they didn't do good?
No, they didn't do good.
Oh, that sucks.
No, and
So did you leave the PVC planter, or are you gonna do something else with it?
well,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
that's okay.
Interrupting.
Over here, it's interruption. And so I took those out, and I put in some chives and some lettuce and some spinach and some basil as a small mini herb garden, I guess, that hangs out right by the back door. And so that Stephanie, my wife, she can go out there and pick whatever she needs to in the mornings or whatever for dinner. So that's what we did today, for the most part.
So, tell them about the wheat, like why you're gonna grow wheat in a suburban lot. Like, what's cool about that?
Oh well, it's to grow your own things. It's so you know where it's coming from, and I'm gonna try and make bread from it, and learn the process of threshing and grinding the kernels or the.
So I was gonna
berries.
ask, how do you grind that? Like in a food processor?
Well, we have the Vitamix.
Oh, okay.
And we have two canisters. One's for liquids, one's for grains. So we have that. And I've tried doing it before. They came out kind of crunchy, but we might invest in an actual grinder.
I wonder if you could use a coffee grinder.
You might be able to.
I don't know
I'm
if
not
that's
sure.
too small, but
But just to learn the process really of growing wheat and how it's processed, and then the end product of flour and putting it in as a food product or an ingredient.
so then are you gonna do the sugar beets to make your cake thing too?
Eventually, we're gonna test out the wheat first and make sure we can grow it and understand the process, and then maybe next spring we'll start the sugar beets and get that process going.
Okay.
But that process takes a whole year for the actual sugar to actually process. So.
Oh.
So, unfortunately, we're not a big industry that can just process the sugar out of the sugar beets. We have to do a different process, like our great grandparents would have done if they had grown sugar beets.
So since you garden in the suburban area, I know your neighbors across the street are pretty into gardening and that whole
They're just
the fringe side. But
Yeah.
anybody else like commented on your garden, like wondering what are you doing out here? And
not really. I mean, most of my stuff's contained in the back. I mean, the only thing as far as gardening or food-wise would be the wheat on the side of the house. And I've grown stuff on the side of the house before, but I mean, it's not really visible to the front. So
you don't think anybody's gonna go like, you're growing wheat? What the heck are you doing?
not really.
Maybe.
I mean, I told my neighbor, he was asking me what I was planting today, and he's more into hydroponics and stuff like that. He grows vegetables in hydroponics, and so.
Yeah, that whole hydroponic thing just seems, I don't know. If you got land, just use it. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. I mean, maybe if you're in an apartment,
apartment.
and you're in New York City, that sounds great, but if you got a backyard, you can do something.
Use it.
So,
Yeah.
cool. So
what'd you pick up over at the store today? I heard you went to the
yeah,
store.
I met my mom at one of their little favorite places. It's called Marshall Green, and they have like just 2 locations or a couple.
They have 2.
2. They have one in Fort Worth.
It's off Lancaster.
Yeah, and then the other one's over in Grapevine off of 121. So we went over there. I had met some friends in Louisville and met my mom halfway. And I was looking for. We're kind of like salvia geeks right now. My husband and I, we like salvia. We like to collect different things like of one genus, and so I was looking for different cultivars of that, and I found a couple, and then picked up a couple natives. Dahlberg daisy, I think, and a bee balm, and some more. Oh, well, found some African blue basil, which is apparently like one of the best things for bees. So if you want to attract bees to your garden, plant African blue basil. And I picked it up actually from my mom. But she got tomatoes and all sorts of different things to plant, coleus, stuff like that. I didn't really buy too much. They had a good selection in the greenhouse, but their stuff outside wasn't that diverse.
The stuff outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but I mean, it's probably more diverse than the other big box places you find around. So
it's a good place if you're in Dallas-Fort Worth, and Marshall Green is a good little market. So.
Now, speaking of the basil that you picked up, the bee balm, have you ever tried growing bee balm from seed?
No, I haven't. So the garden I'm putting in now is really like my first real garden. I pot ghettoed for years and years and years in Florida, and then we moved, and so we sold that. There's Zoe.
That's my daughter.
I don't know if you can see her, but yeah, no bee balm. I've heard it's good, but no, I've never grown it from seed. Have you?
I grew some last year, and it's actually pretty easy to grow. It's, I just threw it on top of the soil, kind of like you would basil, and it grew, and it attracts bees as well. So.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. We bought one last weekend, but I didn't remember the type of it, which cultivar it was. So I was like, well, I'll grab this one and hope it's not the same, but it doesn't matter if we have duplicates, whatever. We kind of like try to be diverse with our plantings, but I don't know. I like multiples of things, so we'll see. But I don't know. That's about what I'm doing right now.
Cool.
So I saw Mom's. Did you see her compost?
Yeah, she's got a tumble.
Yeah, she has a tumble composter.
Yeah.
And then she has a big bin of stuff that I guess processed, but it's like hard as a rock. Do you know what's up with that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the grass clippings they put in. Most of it was grass clippings.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of got solid as a
yeah.
a brick. So.
I wonder if I don't know if anybody's had problems with their compost being solid as a rock. It's just wetting it up and mixing it, or I wonder if she could throw some in the composter again.
She could probably wet it and stick it in a bucket and kind of moisten it up, and that might loosen it up.
Yeah, because I was actually surprised because last time I saw that tumbler, it was just like this big mass of grass, and it was kind of crazy. So it looked like it kind of worked. I was kind of happy about that.
It did look like it kind of worked. So. You growing any root crops now, or I know y'all are still getting your vegetable garden installed. But.
Root crops, yes, kind of. Let's see. I have onions and garlic, and they are in a little section on the side of our house that is going to be the rest of our flower garden. But right now, I made a makeshift vegetable garden out of it, and back when we moved in the summer, and. I've kind of neglected it, and I actually thought the garlic wasn't going to come up, but it came up like 4 months later, and I was like, yay! And onions have done okay. I think they're just going to end up being little like green onions. I haven't really cared much for it. The area there is pretty much straight sand. We live in a very sandy area. I mean, the name of our soil unit is like boy sand, something like that. So it's not even like a loam, silt sand. Sand, that's all. And so I haven't really paid much of attention to it. We were going to start potatoes and so we built our flower beds, and now we have to build the vegetable beds. But now my husband has to go out of town to do field work, so it's kind of like we'll be doing stuff in between when he comes home for breaks. And so I'm hoping we get this up in the next couple weeks, because I have tomato seedlings that are like this tall that really need to go in the ground, and we have potatoes that need to go in the ground, and yeah.
So still a work in progress.
Kind of a work in progress, and I'm kind of sad because this year we didn't get a good vegetable garden like we had last year when we were at the community garden, but that's all right. It was just, moving into a new house and having to deal with all that was just too much, so we're good.
Cool.
What have you harvested lately?
What have I harvested lately? Nothing really. I mean, I picked up some multiplier onions out of the ground to cook in dinner the other day.
That's good.
Our garlic and onions are going to be ready to pick here in about 2 months. So. Yeah.
I'm hoping the garlic, because our garlic last year turned out like crap. I think we got a couple that kind of cloved a little bit, but And then we had a problem curing it, and it was just like, it seemed like it got moldy and mildewy, and it was just not good. So I don't know what the trick is.
Well, we have like these green mesh bags that I basically let the garlic. I just pulled it out of the ground and let it sit on the ground for a day, and then I took it into the shade underneath we have like a little overhang kind of like this at our house, and let it sit there for a week. And it may have been even longer than that until the tops ground off and just died, and then cut the tops off and then stuck them in a little green mesh bag, and then stored them like that inside the. There's our ice cream man.
Yeah.
Stored them in that for the year and just kept them in the kitchen in the fridge. So.
Cool.
Do I need to go inside?
No, that's Papa or our dad.
That's our father.
Yeah, we're doing a little video blog, Dad. So you can stay inside. We're almost
You can
done.
sit there.
Yeah. He's eating ice cream. That's actually where we used to hang out when we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah, and play out in the yard and talk. So I guess since he's out here, we should probably wrap this up.
That's
anyway.
okay.
So
We'll have to do another one soon.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Papa.
Hey.